Hi, this is AJ. I'm Director of Support with ESP Vision. Today we're going to be covering Vision Pro 4 new features and functionality. We're going to be demonstrating the PC product, but these are also available on the Mac. One of the exciting things with this release is that this is the first release where both the Vision Mac and PC products have been generated using the same code base. As an end user, such as yourself, the benefits that this means for you is that whether you're working on the Mac environment or the PC environment, the user interface is going to be identical. The way you move or modify your model is all going to be the same. From our perspective, the benefits are just huge. This allows us to fix a code, say there's a bug or we're adding some new features or another functionality component to the product. We only have to add that to a single code base and it will automatically roll out into the PC and the Mac product with the next build. So that means that we're going to be able to add new features at a much faster pace than we have been in the past, and we're very excited about that. But as we just take a look here, if you're familiar with Vision 2.3 PC or Vision 4 on the Mac, you'll see that it has a very consistent look with the prior versions of the product. A few modifications, but basically you've got your menu items and toolbar at the top. On the left hand side you've got your scene graph, which is a listing of all your components within your model. The property windows dynamically changes based upon what you have selected in the scene graph, and then you've got your primary visualization window on the right hand side there. All of those windows are dockable, undockable. You can move them around so that there's nothing is set in stone here. But one of the things I want to show here, I'm going to hit the W key here, which takes us into the quad view. Now the quad view basically allows us to have multiple viewports into our environment. In my case here, I've got a top, a right, and a front, and then my user view. Those are all fully user definable. This is going to be great when you're trying to create your focus positions in your console for your moving lights, set focus positions for conventional lights, because you actually can see how the light is impacting your model from a number of different perspectives all at once. And we're really excited about this, and you can drop in and out of this just quite easily by toggling in and out with the W key. Now on the left hand side, as I mentioned before, we do have the scene graph. A couple of things that are unique here with this latest release. You may remember that if you were working with Vision 2.3 PC, certain LED fixtures and other types of fixtures we referred to as multi-part fixtures. As an example, the Pixelline 1044 9-channel mode was really 3 separate segments. But for the way that those were handled in Vision, in early releases of Vision, those would come in as 3 unique fixtures. It made it a little difficult if you wanted to move a fixture, if you wanted to change its focus position or do something like that. And it would show up here as 3 fixtures instead of just the 1 fixture. Vision 4 now has resolved that issue. In addition, when you open the patch window, you'll notice that nothing is in conflict and you don't have the red that would show up as a conflicted fixture for multi-part fixtures. So we're real excited about that and think that's a huge improvement. Additionally, if you take a look here, you've got the ability to assign, in this case we've just got a video playing back on one of our objects. It could just as easily be something coming from a media server. But the nice thing about this as well is if I just grab any object here, you'll notice we now have a transparency slider. So you can apply this to any object within your model to give it some amount of transparency or opacity based upon the needs that you have at that time. A couple of other things here as well. We're really happy about the way that the lights are interacting with the textures. That's one of the benefits of moving to an OpenGL environment versus a DirectX environment. It gives us a couple of different tools that we can use to, in our opinion, make the model and the realism of ESP Vision just a lot better. Here's if I select root in my scene graph, you'll notice in my globals I've got my properties window here. It shows my ambient. I can now use my slider to change my ambient light here. Some of you may remember some customers would have a problem using the slider on Vision 2.3 PC. It would cause it to crash immediately, and we couldn't always duplicate that, but we do feel that what we've found as a potential issue has been taken care of, so that you can use the sliders with impunity and not feel like you're risking your model crashing. In addition to that, we're just going to go up here to the menu items. Under the file menu, the things as you would expect, you can create a new file, drop in library objects from the Vision library, whether it's objects or fixtures. You can also open an ESC file that was created from 3D Studio Max or Vectorworks, and you can merge in multiple ESC files together to create your model, and then of course save that out. Something new under the Edit menu is the addition of the undo and the redo capability, as well as some cut, copy, and paste capabilities as well. What this does is that it gives you some confidence that if you accidentally come in here and say change your ambient light to 25, oops, I've got my number lock key not done right, and I decide that I actually wanted my ambient light to be back that other level, I hit Control Z, it will take it back, hit Control Y, and it will, redo that. I can then, of course, using the same keystrokes that I was using before, I can change my position of my model using the mouse keys so that I can move around and get my model exactly the way that I want from any perspective, and do my programming the way that you would normally want. If I take a look now under the menu item, the window menu item, you'll see some of the things are familiar, some of them are new. The new things would be the toggle number of viewports. You also have the ability to add a grid to your environment, so that if you actually are creating a file from scratch, you've got some grid information that you can use there. One of the things that I really liked at this point is the DMX recorder as well. The DMX recorder is basically, let's say that you program a couple of looks on your console and you want to take it and show it to the client, but you don't want to lug your console to the client's office with you. What you can do is you can record that DMX and then play it back for the client without actually having a console there. And that's what I've done here. This is some of the DMX that we used from the LDI show 2014 here in Las Vegas last week. But what it does is it basically has a number of looks that we did pre-programmed, and then it's just playing back the DMX that we had recorded off the console. So that's a great benefit for you too. We're going to be using this as well for creating your movies and some of your renderings and things like that as well, so that you don't actually have to have the console with you at the moment that you're doing that. If we go under the Render tab, we have the ability to render a still, and this is actually a feature where we've added another product that actually does radiosity and very nice looking renders, and we'll do an entire video on how to do that. It's fairly complex, does a lot of really cool things, and suffice it to say that it is new to Vision 4, and we'll be showing you how to use that in a future video. Under the DMX menu item, you've got the ability to change your DMX provider. New with Vision 4 is the addition to streaming ACN, in addition to the ArtNet and HogNet and MANet capabilities that we had previously supported. Couple of new things as well is if you want to select any object in your scene, you can use the move tool now to move it. You can rotate it. That was a problem with Vision 2.3 PC. It was sketchy at best, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. We've got that all squared away, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And finally, one other thing that you can do is if you have any object selected that's a fixture, new ability here is the ability to actually add an attachment to it if an attachment is appropriate. So if you've got some conventionals and you want to add a scroller, or you want to change the lensing option on some of your moving lights, you can of course continue to do that in Vectorworks and or Max, but you can now also do that directly here in Vision. And one thing that I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about the multi-part fixtures, Vision 2.3 PC would not allow you to add a multi-part fixture directly into Vision. It would cause a crash. That has been resolved. Now you can add any fixture that you want, whether it's multi-part or not, directly into Vision. So that's basically what we have added to Vision 4. We're really excited about it. We feel like the rendering looks much, much better. We feel like we've given the users a lot of really cool options with regard to user interface things. And we look forward to your feedback. This is AJ. I hope you found this video to be educational and entertaining. Thank you for watching.